what she said.
You were fading. You were fading out my mix, dude. Do you think, Skrillex gets his mix faded out when he's Skrillexing? Da 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 ha ha he.
I'm sorry, who?
Skrillex. Skrillex. No? Techno guy?
I've got nothing for you, man.
Techno guy wears the, I'm getting my techno guys mixed up. There's one guy that wears the box on his head.
I'm going to ask Eunice because I guarantee Eunice knows the answer.
There's
to
like
this.
Daft Punk that wears there's Daft Punk and they wear the weird helmets. Skrillex wears like, I think a mouse head. Or not Skrillex, I don't know.
I've been informed by a resident EDM expert back here, Eunice, that Skrillex doesn't wear anything.
Okay. Ew.
Dead Mouse is the guy you're thinking of.
And the S is spelled with a 5, I think.
Yeah, Dead Mouse.
Yeah, I'm getting the nod. Skrillex doesn't wear anything.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Just
wow.
totally. That's why he doesn't get faded out.
Oh, wow.
Distracting.
I had one of my bosses tell me
Oh no.
Last week, not Jason, that the Kings are doing really well, so I shouldn't go off on tangents about stuff and just do straight sports. So,
okay.
With that in mind, I don't know if you've ever dealt with the phenomenon of having your significant other go clothes shopping before, but I talked about this over the weekend. It's one of the toughest things I have to do, especially for some reason it always happens on Sunday when there's football.
Sure.
My wife goes shopping with my daughter, and of course it's a 7-hour event that ends in tears and frustration and possible violence. They come home. I'm watching a game with my son. We're eating something unhealthy. And they both come into the old Dave cave and with just bags of everything. I guess there was a half-off sale at some clothing place over the weekend.
Do they do the bit where they come in and show you everything they bought?
Exactly where I'm going.
Okay.
It is a fashion show. My wife, first off, informs me sheepishly how much she spent, and we don't have the normal marriage dynamic. My wife can spend, we're not rich, but my wife can spend whatever she wants because my wife never spends money. It's the other way around from your societal norms where the man's stop spending all this money on your hair and nails. No, I'm the one who spends money terribly. My wife feels guilty if she buys a $10 pair of shoes. I don't care what you spent. If you spent it, I'm sure we needed it. And I'm sure whatever you spent is about half of what I would have spent. And we've had this conversation.
Right.
But she comes in with my daughter. I'm not joking when I say they have about 10 bags. She informs me sheepishly of what she spent, then follows it up with, but it was normally this price.
Right.
What a great deal.
You were losing money if they didn't buy all that stuff.
Probably would have had to have sold the house.
Yeah, if they
had they not bought this.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to say, but look, and as soon as she says, but look at what we got. And then my daughter goes first. Here's a shirt with a kitty. Here's this snow hat with the braids coming off of it. I don't know what that, the strings come off the, here's these pants, the shoes. I look at this thing. And then my wife, I got this for work. Oh, look at this. It is I don't know if there's a harder thing to do in a relationship than with the football game in the background. I'm still kind of not completely awake. To completely have your programming changed, they literally stand in front of the television, and it's like breaking news here, and I have to pretend to be interested. I've actually been caught not being interested before, and you actually go, is this, you can't take 5 minutes and look what your daughter's new clothes? Wow.
Here's the secret there. you give it the cursory, just like, oh wow,
Yeah.
wow. Here's the key, dude, and at least this is what works for me.
Sure.
And the women in my life is, I pick one thing, and I go
in on it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and I go, oh wow, I really like that. You're gonna wear that to work? I think you could probably wear that like kind of anywhere.
Must be a handbook or something to that, because that's the same thing I do with her work stories.
Yeah.
I'll pick one thing and go full
Like,
on.
she said what?
I cannot believe
Yeah.
she said that. You should tell her this.
Yeah.
I don't care. But you have to. And
Sometimes, hey, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I definitely care. Sometimes I get really into the drama.
Well, God bless you. Because I don't.
I'll be like, hey, what ended up happening with this?
Well, the problem is
Did
that
they ever fight?
they want to tell you something, and you either get in trouble for not paying attention and not caring. And then the few times that I do pay attention or care to the drama, she'll say, oh, April did this, and then Jenny did this, and I can't believe what Ashley did. And I'm like, well, here's why I think Ashley did it from what you're saying. And honest to God, what you should do is tell her, and I'll get into it. She's like, I don't need a problem solver, okay? I don't.
Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not there to solve problems.
No, right, but that's garbage. If you're gonna bring me your problems, expect a solution. Don't expect. I'm not interested in just. I'm not a venter. I don't care. Now on this show, no problem. That's because we get paid. But in free time, I don't need you to vent to me. If you have a problem, please bring it to me. I love you. I love you. I will happily listen. Well, I will tolerate it and listen. But when you bring me a problem, please expect there to be like those after school specials where they have the special message at the end. Please expect that when you bring me a problem, at the end of your soliloquy, there's going to be, okay, so listen, we've heard what you did. Now here's what you should have done. And here's what Ashley should do. You go to Phyllis and you tell her to shut the blank up. Fire this one. And don't ever talk to this one again.
Okay.
That's what you do.
I see what you're saying. I couch that as, here's what I would do. Or, oh God, if that happened to me, I would do this. And that way you're dispensing advice or problem solving without being a problem solver. And you're seeming interested by putting yourself in their position.
How about just, I don't care what clothes you bought. And as far as your problems at work, if you need to vent, that's why you have your top 5 and your whatever your T-Mobile is. That's what that's for.
Okay, good luck with that.
But if you want to bring me that, then I should be able to have the response under my rules. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean, you see what I'm saying. You don't agree with it because you're sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I'm an empath, dude.
An empath? I thought an empath was like somebody with ESP. Isn't an empath
Like I
somebody
have
who can
ESPN or something.
Yeah, somebody can read minds. Yeah. Telepath.
I don't know.
Empath. You're very empathetic?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll take a break.
Don't emphasize that word like that.
I have empathy for all of you listening because we have a big fun show for you today. We're going to talk about the basketball. Hey, time to come down to earth. The team's terrible. Trade everybody. Fire everybody.
It's almost like peaking and valleying is not that good of a thing, and staying more even keel is a better option.
We had Greek on Greek crime too yesterday.
Oof.
Woof, woof.
Yikes.
Kyle I think we'll go 7:15 is going to, and this is really, we got a break, but this is really going to upset me because I know he's got 2 super hot takes. Number one, and we may need to push this into a sweep. Number one, super pissed off at the Saints celebration yesterday honoring Joe Horn. I don't understand why. Number 2, still does not believe Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer. We're going to have to get into that.
Dude. You are just the worst.
Just
You're
absolutely unreal.
Honestly, the worst kind of human.
I'm like not lying. It's
like for real, like for real.
It's
like
developing into one of my favorite bits.
Like if I'm,
because I know it pisses you off.
I was having
so bad.
such a great day yesterday. I didn't have to write. I did no writing yesterday. I was at my buddy's wedding party, and I'm hanging out, and I haven't seen my friend in a couple years, and we're hanging out, have a great day. there's football on,
Sure.
and I haven't been on Twitter. I'm like, hey, let me go see what's going on. I opened my mentions to just this idiot, you moron, go die in a fire, you stupid millennial. Like, what?
You see, the bit is Kyle really thinks Frank Gore's a first ballot Hall of Famer and has written about it, and I
extensively.
It's like basically it's like your religion.
Yes, I will go to
pray
war
at the
for
Church
this.
of Gore.
Yes,
and I like to go on Twitter and say, for some reason he doesn't think Frank Gore's.
And people bite every time.
Every time they bite, dude.
God.
We'll take a break. We're back with Morning Brew on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Fox to the rack, high floater, window good. De'Aaron Fox down the left side of the lane. He's got 27 for De'Aaron Fox. That is a new career high. His previous career high came on the road at San Antonio last season as a rookie when he had 26 against the Spurs.
Hey, that was a good game. I enjoyed that one. That, however, was not what happened yesterday. Wait, what's going on here? So we got a new, is that me or is that you or is that just a thing? Because it's in a new folder. Do we mean to do that or is that just me missing that? My fault for not looking at the date. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. It said November 2nd. I'm just asking if the new folder was...
The new folder just didn't get renamed.
Okay. Because then I'd just keep looking at new folder. Here's what happened. Actually, to be honest with you, that's probably the better clip to play. That's honestly the better clip to play for Kings fans because this is the alternative.
Breeze drops back, throws down the slot. Mike Thomas in stride. He's to the 30.
That's the football game. You see what happens when you try to no-look fire a, they say the week's going to go exactly how it starts, kind of like a baseball season. If that's the case,
If you were more empathetic, you'd be playing the right clip right now.
I don't want to play that clip. Screw it. The clip was meant to not be played. 144-109.
That's a great point.
Milwaukee trashes the Kings last night. Ooh. Well, we'll talk about this a lot today. Fine. But can we not do the whole, they are who we thought they were, they're terrible, they suck, and can we also not do the whole, that's just one loss. I mean, they're going to come home and go 4-0 on this home. Can we just keep it in the middle, please?
Yeah, I think that anybody who thought that this team was entering into the upper echelon of NBA contenders based on a 9-game sample size is probably lying to themselves.
Yeah.
And I think what we saw was just kind of establishing, at least what you and I talk about, and what plenty of people on the text line and been calling in have talked about, where this is a team performing well, but they're probably not gonna go beat the Bucks in Milwaukee.
No.
They're not gonna go on the road and beat the NBA's elite, and that's fine.
Right.
That's perfectly fine right now.
They are beating average to bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
Their 3 losses have been to what is almost positively 3 playoff teams.
Yep.
Utah is 4-5 right now. They're struggling, but pretty sure both they and New Orleans, who I believe is also 4-5 and struggling. I looked at it last night. New Orleans and Utah have a combined 8-game losing streak going. That's not going to last. And then on top of that, Milwaukee, New
Orleans, Utah, and Denver are all going to make the playoffs.
All playoff teams. Pretty sure that would be safe money. So let's just all calm down.
Also, the Kings still in the 6th seed.
Yes, they are. And we'll know a lot more about this team at the end of this week, or at the end of this homestand, I should say. Okay, how about number 2?
Breeze drops back, throws down the slot. Mike Thomas in stride. He's to the 30. He's to the 20. To the 10. Touchdown. Mike Thomas, 72 yards. And the Saints strike a hole in the hearts of the Rams in the 4th.
Sometimes I hate fantasy football, even when I like it. Watching the game last night at some friends' houses for a birthday thing. Drew Brees and Mike Thomas. I was doing a daily fantasy game with some friends of mine. I had both Drew Brees and Mike Thomas. My buddy I'm watching the game with had Mike Thomas in his money league. We're jumping up and down, freaking out about that play. And then I just kind of stopped and it occurred to me. I said, none of these guys are 49ers, and that's the team I root for. This is stupid. Why am I so freaking into this? Oh, I guess it's money. And the New Orleans Saints were money yesterday. That was a great game. That was a game of the year to me. That was a game that lived up to the hype. you got to see some pretty good offense.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint.
It was
exactly what
fun.
I think we wanted from it.
Very, very fun. And we got to talk a lot about the New Orleans Saints today. Today's New Orleans Saints day, because I need to figure out if we need to slow down or if the hype train is going just as fast as it needs to be. Number 3.
Here's the windup by Barrios in the 2-2 pitch. Is a fly ball left field, hit well down the line. Grossman going back right to the track. He's at the wall, and it's gone. And Chapman has hit it out, and the A's take the early lead.
Well, they didn't do what they wanted to do in the playoffs or any of that stuff, but it's good to see that the corners for the Oakland Athletics should be, barring trade or anything else that I know A's fans are worried about, should be okay for quite a long time, as both Matt Olson and it still gets me. Matt Chapman and Matt Olson. Now, I had the Matt Olson right, but I still have that tick where I want to call him Greg Olson.
Right.
And I have to do the math in my head.
But you said it. You have to do the math in your head. Yeah.
That might help. I might remember that. I got to do the math in my head. Oh, Matt Olson.
And Matt Chapman. It's the Mats.
Yes. Matt Olson and Greg Chapman both win.
A's used to be a doormat.
Right. And they're not anymore.
Right.
That's good. 2 young Gold Glovers.
Not a coincidence that the A's had a organizational turnaround the year they figure out their defense.
I know there was no chance at him winning it, but I really, probably more than those other 2, and obviously Chapman deserved it more than anything. I really want to see Marcus Semien win it.
That would have been cool.
Just because.
You knew he wasn't going to with Andrelton Simmons in the AL, but.
Just because he's known as such a crap defender and he's worked on it so hard. Yeah. The fact that he's even nominated is pretty freaking awesome. We'll take a break. We've got highlights, such as they are, of the Justin Jackson-led Sacramento Kings losing to the Bucks 144-109. By the way, my prediction on Friday was not that far off, unfortunately, on the result of that game. We'll take a break. Monday show starts next. Sit back, relax, have fun. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Hey, this is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Kings win streak is over. The Milwaukee Bucks beat them 144-109 yesterday. Justin Jackson was the lone bright spot for the Kings. He had 22 points on 9 of 12 shooting. He was 4 of 7 from beyond the arc, but Giannis Antetokounmpo was too much. He had a triple-double for the Bucks with 26 points, 15 boards, and 11 assists. The Kings are off today and tomorrow before they welcome in the Toronto Raptors on Wednesday to kick off a 4-game homestand. 2 A's walked away with gold gloves this season. First baseman Matt Olson and third baseman Matt Chapman both won the award for the first time. And in some NFL action yesterday, the Saints knocked off the previously unbeaten Rams 45-35 down in New Orleans. The Steelers snuck past the Ravens 23-16 in that AFC North matchup. Atlanta was all over Washington 38-14, and the Patriots rallied late to pull away from the Packers for a 31-17 win. Monday Night Football will wrap up Week 9 of the NFL season with the Titans visiting the Cowboys in Dallas. We'll have that game for you right here on Sports 1140 with coverage beginning at 5 o'clock. Those are your top stories, and now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Here we go. The drive continues now.
Before we get to Kings highlights. What was this tweet I saw yesterday when I am out of touch on this, obviously, but I saw a tweet about, it was either Olsen or Chapman. It was like, congratulations, they win the Rawlings Gold Glove in Hero Town or something. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, what, does that mean they won the Gold Glove? What are they saying?
Yeah.
What am I missing? What is the Hero Town thing?
That's the A's ad campaign.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell it was. I was like, wait, hold on. Is there like different Gold Gloves?
No.
Is there one for Hero Town?
Yeah.
And then one for, is that the A's internal Gold Glove? Like,
yeah,
what?
the A's distribute Gold
Their
Gloves.
own Gold Glove?
No, the Rawlings Gold Glove is the Gold Glove. It just
Hero
has a
Town.
sponsor.
Hey, this program differentiation brought to you by Kyle Madson. So Kyle stupidly told me during the break, hey, check this tweet out.
Oh, not stupidly. This was very, I know what I'm doing.
This Bob Ryan, columnist for the Globe, longtime columnist for the Globe, You see him on Pardon the Interruption and other places. He tweets this out yesterday, I think. There are true spots fans. I'm going to go ahead and think he meant sports. There are true sports fans or selective sports fans. True fans follow pro, college, golf, tennis, and international sports, among others. Don't say you're a true sports fan if you're not fixated tonight on Alabama LSU. Doesn't make you a bad person if you don't give he said a swear word that I can't say on the air. So, a couple things on this, though. You might be surprised, Kyle, at my take. Number one, so I would ask Bob this, because I was fixated on Alabama LSU. I follow international sports and try to follow. I guess I'm a true sports fan. But, where's the cutoff on that, Bob?
How closely do you follow tennis?
Who won in Formula One over the weekend? Was there even a Formula One race? I don't know. What about cricket? How many cricket players could you name?
Right, and the idea that Oklahoma, Texas Tech was going on at the same time as LSU, Alabama.
Yep.
Oklahoma, Texas Tech was a much more entertaining game.
Absolutely.
And what if you're a diehard Oklahoma fan and you were at the Oklahoma game? Is Bob Ryan suggesting that because you're at the Oklahoma game and you're not watching this 29-0 drubbing by Alabama that you're less of a sports fan?
Yeah, it was.
It's a bad take. It's a really bad take.
They're always bad takes. And to your point, if you were not watching West Virginia, Texas, you missed the lovely and talented Gus Johnson on the call.
I hate this.
Greer lobs it in the air. Oh! What a catch, Gary Jennings! Touchdown, West Virginia!
I have a soft spot for Gus Johnson that goes against all my logic when it comes to announcing. Because I go back with Gus to college basketball and to mixed martial arts. Gus Johnson could call the Yellow Pages and make it sound exciting. You don't like him. You don't like the call. Gus is very excitable, but in a way that appeals to me for some reason.
Okay, and I'm the just
not descriptive.
Right.
I hear you.
Here's my issue is that Gus Johnson is typically very unprepared. B, and that's a nitpick. That's stupid.
Yeah.
All that's fine. But I feel like he leans on the yelling because he is unprepared.
You might be right.
Which is no, hang on. I'm getting to a thing here. But now, and that's all fine. Like, if you want to get excited, but here's my two biggest real beefs with him. He tries to get excited about meaningless plays. He's like, and he's going up the middle for a loss of 2. And it's just.
So we've seen this. There are announcers
and now he's leaning into it too far. He knows that he's a phenomenon. And so when a big play happens, he just leans into I don't know if I can say what people call it on the internet.
Probably not. But it's like, if you're saying sometimes he does calls knowing that he's going to end up on Twitter, okay. I would also say, not that other people don't share your thoughts, but also your thoughts, much like our thoughts when it comes to some of this stuff, are also in some aspects backroom. It's inside baseball.
Right. Oh, big time.
But
yes.
It's not
fully,
that I don't
fully acknowledge that.
Here's why I just want to finish up on Bob Ryan. Here's the thing, and this shouldn't be said because of what we do for a living and everybody listening right now, and we rely on people listening to us to keep jobs. But here's what I like to say to people like Bob Ryan, and I hope everybody takes this the right way. Dude, this is a pet peeve of mine. Your entire life is based around watching other people play sports. Your entire existence. Some religions believe you get one go-round on earth. And that is it, okay? Your entire existence is based on watching other people do things and then writing about them. They're not writing about you. We're talking about you right now, so there's that. Everything we do, sports in general, and this is why it drives me nuts when people in the media take themselves too seriously or take what they do too seriously. It's a distraction from what people do in their real lives. Everybody listening right now, they're trying to be distracted from what they're dealing with by watching a bunch of things that is meaningless. Now, I'm not trying to get on a soapbox here and say it's meaningless in the sense somebody will come back and be like, well, hold on, Dave. Kings winning isn't me. That means a lot to me and my family. And I get that. But please don't take it too seriously.
Coming.
Go ahead.
Coming at it from a place of you're not a real sports fan. You're not a true sports fan. Like, you're a lesser person because you don't like golf. Maybe you think golf is boring, but you love the Kings and the NBA, and that is your sports intake.
Maybe you only have so much time.
There is nothing that lesser about the person who only watches the Kings or the Sharks or pick a sport. Does not make you less of a fan, and that's what bothers me. You're a passive sport. Go away.
I was going to say that I don't like fan hierarchies, except I kind of do because we get on bandwagoning all the time. But that's fan on fan crime. If you're not into baseball, if you're not into basketball, if you're not into hockey, soccer, MMA, that is fine. That doesn't make you less of a basketball fan. He's saying it makes you less of a sports fan. What Bob Ryan's trying to do, and what so many in the media try to do, is they try to elevate what they do for a living to something that actually matters and is really important. It's not, Bob. It's not that important. You're not that important, dude. When you die, the first lines of your obituary, Bob, are going to be, he wrote things about accomplishments that other people did. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'll be lucky if they say that about me. But just have self-awareness to know that you're not that important. It's the people you're covering that are important. So don't make the hierarchies, dude.
And don't come down on the people reading your stuff. Like, the fans are what pay Bob Ryan. You're not a true sport locked into LSU. Alabama LSU was boring, dude. I watched 3/4 of that game. It was awful.
The best part of Alabama LSU was the pregame.
Yep.
And the lead into maybe half the first quarter. It was 0-0.
Yeah, when Death Valley was
right.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Yes.
And what a weekend to be in New Orleans. They had ESPN Game Day there for the NFL Sunday Countdown. They brought Lee Corso out and put on the big Saints hat type of thing. You know, the thing. You know what I'm talking about.
The mascot head.
Do you know who was the lady who was heading up that broadcast? I don't remember. I felt so bad. Her voice is gone.
I don't know.
And they didn't help her.
I don't know.
She was hosting the entire thing, and everybody's screaming behind her. I got to find her name. And she was just constantly cracking. Her voice was obviously gone either from sickness or through yelling. And ESPN did nothing. They did not throw her a life preserver, nothing. I always feel bad when broadcasters' voices go out, like Bill Horrenda a few years back. We still have that clip somewhere on a Kings broadcast. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's get into those Kings highlights, and if we have time, we'll get into some NFL highlights for you as well as we start the day today. A lot of NFL, a lot of Kings, and the Kings are off until Wednesday as they start a 4-game homestand. It's a drive. Sports 1140 KHTK.
33 seconds to go. Here's another deflection and a steal. It's grabbed by Mason, leads it out to Heel, cruises the rack. He's fouled and he scores the basket. Let's make that your Petkus brothers moment of the game. A 3-point opportunity on a terrific transition push by Buddy Heel.
That was not a mistake. That was us playing the Petkus brothers moment of the game from Friday. A much better game for the Sacramento Kings. Get the spectacular backyard you've always wanted with a beautiful Petkus Brothers patio or sunroom. The best price, best value guaranteed every day. Petkus Brothers. Let's get to a couple of highlights. There were some highlights from yesterday. We'll start with Buddy again.
Here's Fox getting the tip. He throws it ahead to Heel. Goes to the near corner. Now he attacks the basket for the layup. He's got the bucket. Kings have their first lead of the ball game. On top by 2 at 9-7. They trailed 7-2, and now they've come back to get their first lead of the contest. He leads it to the near side. Fox is wide open. He'll tee up the 3. He scores the triple. How about this run by the Sacramento Kings? They're now on top, 12-7. They've scored the last 10 points of the ball game, from 5 down to 5 up. Nelly shakes right, goes left, baseline, awkward shot, no good. Tip Bielitsa, he's got it. The run is 12-0, and Mike Budenholzer and the Bucks will take a timeout.
And that's how the game ended. That's how the game ended. The Kings 14, the Bucks 7. Right?
Yeah, and that's the kind of game we thought it would be. We knew the Kings defense was going to lock it up. If their offense could just get a couple of touchdowns, we knew they'd probably be good. And when they got that second touchdown, you knew it was pretty much over.
Yeah, that was it. It was over. Extra point was good.
Hey, speaking of football, join the 1140 Street Team for Monday Night Football at Sammy's Restaurant inside Stone's Gambling Hall, kicking at 5 p.m. Stop by to win movie passes and other great prizes. Details at khgk.com.
There's kicking at 5?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I don't know what you're kicking, but you're doing it.
Hey, props to our street team, too, for being out at the they went out to the Kings viewing party
very cool.
yesterday. Thanks to the Sacramento Kings for inviting us, and thanks to the street team for giving up some of their Sunday to go out there and hang out with what I understand was a standing room only, seriously, out there at Yard House for that viewing party. That being said, I mean, there's no way to control what's going to happen at the viewing party with the team.
Right.
I mean, somebody somewhere had to think there was a good chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
a testament to what Sacramento will do when the Kings are good for a whole season.
Yes.
Like they were 6-3 and people packed a viewing party.
They did. I'm just saying maybe the next viewing party let's do against Orlando or Miami or those we've already played them on the road. I don't know. When we go to Phoenix, something
like a winnable game, like a homecoming,
game, right?
Like a homecoming.
Yes. By the way, before your time, Kyle, on this program, Costa Koufis was a weekly guest of ours during the season, and I'm very fond of Costa as a person, as a player, and I'm going to
R.I.P.
I'm going to miss him.
Adetokounmpo now matched up against Iman Shumpert. High screen Lopez. Here comes the freak. Hammers it home, and he's fouled. Oh, my. You can watch a lot of NBA basketball, and you will not see many plays more impressive than the one that Giannis Adetokounmpo just threw down for a three-point opportunity. He took off just inside the top of the three-point arc, and in two giant strides was challenged by Costa Koufis, but he still wound up and over the outstretched arms of Costa, and through the contact was able to power it down.
Sad. Really sad.
You know, the thing about Costa, he always has a smile on his face.
A guy who played every play like it was his last.
Yep. That's a great way to put it. He went out how he would want to be remembered, as a guy trying his best.
Yeah.
And to be honest, kind of sacrificed himself for the team in that aspect. There was no chance for him.
And I think the players, both the players who were on the court and the ones on the bench who witnessed it firsthand, will take a lesson from that, which is what he would have wanted.
I think in the end, with all the things he's gone through, all the battles on and off the floor, the working hard, all the great players he's gone up against, who would have thought that the end would come against one of his own?
Yeah.
A fellow Greek.
Yeah.
And listen, people do the whole thing where they mock the guy that gets dunked on. They say, oh, he ducked out of the way. It's a business decision. You know, we always applaud the ones that get dunked on because that means you're trying to play defense. Yep. Costa doesn't care about being on a poster. Costa cares about trying to stop 2 points.
Yep.
And in the end, that's finally what took him from us. Costa Koufis was 29 years old. By the way, we're not the only ones to have a comment on that. Did you happen to see what Giannis Antetokounmpo said?
I did not.
Giannis had comments, and Giannis had guilt. Giannis had serious guilt. I'm not joking. We'll get to Giannis's comments on the play that we're going to talk about once, and then we're done. Stretched over 2 breaks. We'll talk about Giannis next. I want to remind you, too, at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. If you want to get in, we're doing Kings in the next segment to start the 7 o'clock hour. You can always call us, and those calls brought to you by Fire Wings. 21 different flavors to choose from. That's firewings.com. Just wing it. No, his name is not Post or Poofus. Coast is my guy, okay?
Was.
I will... Always will be, Kyle. Always will be.
Hey, like it's seen Top Gun. He was a good man. Still is a good man.
Right?
That's what I meant.
We're back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK.